Welcome to Emotional Support Siblings, where we get better. That's what we do here. My name is Luke, and this is my emotional support sister, Sarah.
Yeah, where we've spent so much time healing that healing has now become our personality. So, my name's Sarah. I'm here with my brother Luke. We're going to be chatting this week about we're doing a two-parter, twofer series.
Dose.
Week one this week we're going to be chatting about being health obsessed. We're going to be talking about the root of it all, kind of where we started growing up and where things kind of like had their falling out. And then hopefully next week we're going to be kind of bringing it home where we kind of found our turning points and what we did that, us working on healing and what we're kind of focused on now in our lives.
Yes. Yeah. We, health is wealth, as they say. Health is wealth. And I wish I would have taken it seriously a whole lot sooner. I wish we would have been taught differently. I wish we would have been taught that from the get. But thank God, that we have kind of found that how important it really is for longevity. I'm very grateful that I'm taking it seriously today. There's always room to do better, but there was a point of not giving a shit, and it turned into giving a shit, and that's a step in the right direction, if you ask me.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny, like when I talk to people about like the snacks that I keep in my house. So like we're pretty much like a whole food household. There's a handful of snacks that I keep in there for the girls and stuff. But I read a sign once in one of those health food like stores that basically said, what you refuse to pay for now, you're gonna pay for at the doctor later.
Mm.
So essentially, like our bodies, it will catch up to us. I mean, we're both kind of lucky that it caught us at a young enough age that we're not in a place where we've done, 50 or 60 years of damage and now there's no going back. Our bodies are meant to heal and there's a good place for both of us to, look better and put us in a better position going into our, I hate to say it, brother, but we're heading for our 40s.
Yeah, heading for our midlife crises.
Oh, I already hit that.
Oh, you did?
Oh, for sure.
I think I hit that at like 20.
Yeah, I hope that I never have another crises as I did these past couple years.
Man, oh man. You know what I am grateful though? Before we even get started, I'm so grateful for the fact of how popular fitness and health and wellness has become. Since in our day and age, and it's up to people to kind of like. It's always been up to people to do what they do, but like, as much as like influencers and stuff like really piss me off, it's so cool to see how many influencers are at the gym doing something healthy for themselves. You know what I mean? Or the amount of influencers that talk about therapy or talk about whatever the case may be. Like there's so much more talk about it, and it can get confusing and overwhelming if you're getting into it and new to it. But the fact that it is out there like it's never been before, and how adamant people are about their wellness today is I am grateful for that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, two things on that. Number one, I think that we as a society realized what we've been doing is unsustainable. Like it's not the way that I truly at my core with everything that I've had, like that's not how we were created to live our lives in this fast pace go go go. And I think that people realize that they're like, yeah, we can't keep doing this. There's no way.
Right.
And I think the second part of that is, getting back to our roots. And yeah, I have not been on social media up until we created this podcast. And now I try and still like refrain from being on it for extended periods of time. And I agree with you. I think that being able to see other people sometimes can give people the motivation to make change in their life. And whatever that looks like in a positive light, in a positive manner. And
Absolutely.
that's what we're
And
trying to do too.
that's exactly what we're trying to do. That's why I'm so grateful for it, and that's why I wanted to be a part of it. And I think that our stories and experience is meant to help the next person. So how much better can it get than using a platform like this for something like that, as opposed to our destructive behaviors, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I guess the best part is to start at the beginning. So when we when we talk about obviously where we're at now, I think about again going to therapy, and there's a lot of times that I say out loud to like my therapist just like general things, and she'll be like, "Is that your voice talking?" And I'm like, "No." So I think about some of the things that were instilled in us when we were younger, and things that we learned. And so, what do you, as far as health goes, what do you remember from when we were little?
oof. Eat as much as you can when we have the groceries in the house before your brother or
Feast or
sister.
famine?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest one. I mean, both of our parents smoked in the house, which wasn't uncommon in the 90s and early 2000s.
I mean, we were living in the age where they took out smoking in restaurants, so we did know better.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I do remember like one of my first like childhood birthdays. Like I have this vivid memory of like sitting at Applebee's, I think, and mom smoking a cigarette in Applebee's in the smoking section.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember it. I mean, obviously I was young and I would like to like fact check myself and kind of see what year it was that they actually took that out, but I swear I remember that.
That's crazy.
I know. I know. But yeah, I mean when it comes to health and the way that we were raised was, and this is, purely based off memory, but I mean I know that I drank so much Coca-Cola. Brushing our teeth wasn't I we would leave the dentist and our reward was a milkshake from McDonald's. I remember that
Yup.
every single time, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, isn't this like kind of defeating?
Counterintuitive.
Yeah. And not to say, when you're a kid, you're like, hell yeah, dude, I want that. I want to go to the dentist now. Take me there. I want to go get a milkshake after.
Mm-hmm.
But that, like, in hindsight, it's there's something I read recently that I really like is, or I might have watched it on like a video or something, but they said it's so crazy how we want to reward ourselves with the same bad behavior that we just tried to escape from. And
Mm-hmm.
that brought me back to that milkshake after the dentist.
That's so real.
It is so real. And I don't know. But yeah, I mean, there was no sort of like healthy diet. We did not eat at home a whole lot. We got a ton of fast food all the time. Like the things that we had at home, it wasn't cooked meals. It was the snack aisle. It was I goldfish was my favorite snack. It smiles back. I don't know if you guys knew that, but that is the snack that smiles back. And I was smiling. I would go through, how they have like the regular size for like normal people, and then they have like the bigger size, and then they got like the giant carton, like big ass box. I would go through one of those in like a day and a half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
there's no portion control. It wasn't like our
no,
parents were like, "I'm gonna pour you a bowl of these goldfish, and when they're done, you're done for the day."
right,
You know? Yeah.
right,
Yeah, and when you leave kids up to their own devices, like that's you got to remember like we're hitting a reward system. You know
yep,
what I mean? Like something tastes good, I'm just gonna keep eating it, and like eventually, yeah. I mean, I agree. I think all those points are big. I remember the Coke thing. I mean Coke and Kool Aid in our house. I never can remember asking our parents like telling my parents that I was thirsty and them saying like go have a glass of water. Never.
nope,
Ever. And the smoking thing too. I was just telling a story to Jonathan the other day. Like our parents both smoked in the car, and we used to have this van. And like back in the day, your back van windows didn't roll down. So in the very back seat, you had like a little pop out where you could like pull it and push it out,
Yeah,
and
I
it
remember
gave you
that.
like an inch of space. So I remember distinctly sitting in the back seat, like opening, like trying to breathe out the window, because they didn't roll the windows down
No.
because it would blow the ashes in the car. So they would crack the window 2 inches in the front seat and ash out the car. And like,
Yep.
so I'm like, oh my gosh. And all I can think of too is like, now when I come across somebody who smokes, I can smell them from a mile away. And where mom's office sat in our house was right next door to the laundry room.
Oh yeah.
And so, like, our clothes would get washed, and then she would smoke 2 packs of cigarettes right next door all day, working in the office. And I'm like, I just remember, like, going to school. There's no way that everybody just didn't smell how badly we reeked of smoke.
Right.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, what kind of detergent did you use? We use Salem Lights. Salem Lights. Sometimes if we're getting crazy, we use them Winstons, but Salem Lights.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, shoot, I agree. Those are some core memories right there for sure. And then the other thing that I was thinking about was like the reflection of um, like you said. I mean, there was no uh like setup for health, number one, but also I just feel like growing up in the 90s it was hard because there was this huge push to be very thin. And I remember going to mom as like a chubby 7th grader and being like, Mom, I just want to be thin like my friends, you know? And I like, this is what she told me. Well, when I was your age, I ate a pack of crackers for breakfast, and I woke up before the school bus, and I ran my neighborhood, or go outside and run our yard a few times, and literally programmed me that being thin was okay, and that to get there, you had to do it in a very unhealthy manner. So there was a long time moving into high school that I battled anorexia and got to the point of like, I remember saving my lunch money. Like, we would get $20 to buy lunch for the week at school. We could spend it however we wanted. And I would pocket the money, and I wouldn't eat breakfast and I wouldn't eat lunch. And then I would go and play, run at basketball and run at softball. And I remember my junior year passing out in the bathroom and dad having to come to the school and take me to the hospital to get checked out. And they swore up and down. They were like, are you using drugs?
Mm.
I'm like, I'm not using drugs. And they're like, why are your pupils so dilated? We're going to find out because we're taking your blood. I was like, I'm not doing drugs. Like, I just haven't. Like,
God.
yeah. Yep. It was, I really feel like, and I mean, I also remember, here's a funny story for you. They used to have these like pills growing up. I think the brand was Ally, Alli, I think. But they were like these weight loss pills that you could buy, and mom had them on our desk, and I was like, perfect. Like, this is exactly what I need. So when you read the bottle of weight loss medications, it basically says that, like, if you eat something that's fatty, it will basically trigger your system into, like, clearing it out. So in my brain, I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. So I was eating super clean, and obviously with this medication, I was doing, fine, whatever. And then one day I went with my friend Jess to Taco Bell, and I was like, one meal is not going to hurt me on this medication. So here I am eating Taco Bell, and next thing I know, I'm like, oh, my stomach's upset. Go to fart, shit my pants.
Gross.
Thank you for your support. It was pretty much the darkest day of my life. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And it wasn't like, it was just like straight fatty water. I was like, what is happening? I'm like,
Oh no.
those pills.
Yeah, that is
Yeah, the
that's
system.
I guess so. God, well, they worked. They did they did their job.
I guess.
Man. Yeah, I
I
remember
have a.
uh,
Tell me.
no, I was just going to say I remember talking to mom about weight loss cuz I was a chubby kid too. And yeah, I mean she kind of told me the same thing, but yeah, she more or less told me like yeah, like starve yourself, like don't eat. Like that was kind of our not just her, like our entire family's kind of way of thinking when it comes to something you're doing that isn't good for you, quote unquote, was just stop doing it, you know?
Right.
And I was just like, yeah, man, I mean, I don't I don't know any better though. You know what I mean? I didn't know any other way to eat. I didn't know what clean eating was. I didn't know what clean eating was up until 3, 4 years ago. You know, in my head, up until 3, 4 years ago, it was just eat less. That was it.
And
Um,
they were the one buying the groceries. Like if you
yeah,
like stop buying this stuff that's literal junk and like buy carrots and peppers and be like, if you're hungry, eat an apple. Like that's what you know.
yeah. I don't know if I ever ate an apple when I was a kid, ever. Like,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
I even remember, even like recently, like when the girls were little, Dad would come over and he would bring like donuts for them in the morning. And I had to have a heart to heart with Dad and be like, listen, a treat every now and again is super nice. And I love that you have this bonding moment with the girls, but like if we can pick something else.
Yeah,
And so he started coming to the house with chopped up apples and blueberries, or he now, Dad now bakes homemade apple muffins. I'll have you know.
that's pretty
And so
sweet.
we'll bring that, yeah, as the thing for the girls. And I'm like, I first of all love how receptive you were to something that is so crucial in our lives as
Yep.
health, you know. But also, secondly, like perfect thing for them to just sit out on the front porch and they just go on the glider and they just have their apples as their little snack. It's the best.
Yeah, and shout out to Dad, not just in that regard, but like most anything with health. I mean, he quit smoking cigarettes for the most part. He's had his couple lapses, just like most people do with anything. But he's quit smoking cigarettes. He's using the Nicorette gum. He walks every single day. He does his form of yoga. But it's still like he's making an effort to do all these things. For his mental health prayer and all these things. So like I'm so grateful that he also got on board with that. You know what I mean? Like he knows
Yeah.
that the way we ate and didn't give a shit about our health growing up played a part, and it played a part in him too. He didn't know any better either. So it's really cool to see him at 60 years old making those changes too.
I agree. Full fledged. I mean, like, it just kind of shows, like, you're never too late. And me and Dad talk about it a lot. Like, you know, working in nursing and in hospice, especially, like, I see the way that bodies break down, you know? And, like, none of us are getting out of this alive, but how you go out, I know you can't choose everything, but you can mitigate your risk. And, by choosing certain things, I've seen people die pretty awful ways in hospice. And ultimately, I just genuinely believe that, like, some things just happen. And I'm not here to be like, oh, you gave yourself cancer. You know what I mean? Like, some people never smoke a cigarette and they end up with, COPD, whatever. These things happen. I understand that. But I also think that we have enough, research and everything that goes to show, like, there are certain things that you can do in your 30s so that you're not dealing with them in your 60s. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I'm very happy. So I was a personal trainer for 2 years. I still have my personal training license. If I stand up, you couldn't tell from the dad bod that I've gotten since Justine has gotten pregnant. But um, it has been so awesome. So it was such a cool experience too, because like when you think of like being a personal trainer at a gym, like most people's first thought of any gym that you go to or whatever. It's either like you have like the CrossFit kind of style where it's just like balls to the wall, you're gonna feel like you're gonna die, or the opposite of like full on weightlifting, just getting yoked, you know? And the gym that I worked at took a very holistic approach, and I did not know that's what I was getting myself into. In fact, the guy Moose, I would love to have on our podcast eventually. He's one of the smartest people in general that I know, but I mean, especially with like the body, the human body, and how it pertains. And he's taught me so much about like if I feel a pain here, it's probably not coming from there. It's probably coming from somewhere else. We need to figure out where. And I was and like I none of that made sense to me. That was not the way I used to work out. That was not the way I used to ever think about anything. But the whole part and amped is where I was a fitness instructor was we trained for longevity of life. Of course, there were some people that came in there for weightlifting and they want to get stronger in an area or they want to do this. But the majority, I would say 90% of the clients that we have were either rehabilitation after like physical therapy or something if they got an injury. Older clients that were exactly just trying to have longevity in life, that they wanted to hold their grandchildren and wanted to play with them. And then we had a lot of college students too, but they really were very receptive of the way that we trained there. There was no shame. You know, you walk through that gym and you have such a wide variety of people in their fitness life, but it was like they were a family. But I thought it was so cool to have that experience with fitness as the gym. I mean, that's a lot of where I've gained so much knowledge, mind body, mind muscle connection, how to feel things, and I didn't realize too, like when it comes to like headaches and like stuff that you don't think is anything relative to like fitness, it could be, you know, a pulling muscle towards your head that's causing a headache. It could be that you're not stretching enough. Like it's really cool to see how all these things kind of are interlocked. And I'm so grateful for that experience.
Yeah, I think that when I first kind of started into my trying to get my diagnosis and everything over a year ago, I remember you telling me like, you know, Moose was the guy that he dealt with a lot of different people, and yeah, it's very strange the more that I learn how deeply connected, you know, our bodies are in so many avenues. You know, there's this huge push right now for like gut health and research on gut health, and like now they're talking about like, you know, the majority of your serotonin is produced in your gut, not in your brain. So like if you want to feel good, there's certain foods that you eat, and if you want to reduce anxiety, like there's certain things that you can you know, basically manipulate your intestinal tract. And for me, when everything really started last year, like I essentially what happened was the tipping point for me. But my body had been giving me warning signs for 15 years that I was ignoring. And I see it now, but I was really trying to figure out like what was going, because we did, like, none of us had issues, allergies or anything really growing up. I mean, we all ate. We would go down to the beach and we would have, you know, shellfish and hush puppies, and like we would come home, and I mean, obviously we didn't have a very clean diet. So I think to that like moment when things like started to kind of come as like a warning to me, and the only thing that I can think of is like I had this like ongoing issue with like dairy where it would cause like really severe chest pain. Like, and it would be so bad that like I felt like sick, just in the dead center of my chest. And I kept ending up in the emergency room. Nobody can, you know, they're like, all your tests are coming back fine. You're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. Like, I'm so tired of like talking to doctors and being like, something is wrong, and then just telling me like, you're okay. And then around that time, like, I think that you were like in your core addiction. Our older brother wasn't doing great. Mom and dad were like at a huge point. Like, everything was just like kind of crumbling in the background. I was in like a really rigorous nursing program, graduating early, and then moving into like a really heavy job in hospice. And I think that I just was like, if I can just keep pushing and not acknowledge these things that my body's telling me, I'm just going to be okay. You just have to push through it. Like I was just trying to make sure everything else was okay all the time. And I just refused to see that I was not okay. And life was too busy for me to be like something's going on and I need to take care of myself. I also am like very much like you. Like I'm a people pleaser. I want to keep everybody happy. There were no boundaries set in my life. I wasn't trying to have difficult conversations. My boyfriend at the time wasn't like a really good match for me, but I like didn't really know how to get out of the relationship. There were just so many things that I do see it now. Like I'm like, what a perfect storm. Obviously, like I was not
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And you said something in regards to like just pushing through. I mean, I know we've already kind of like talked about like the way we were raised and everything, but that is spot on with the way we were raised. It's almost like ignore it until it becomes like a real issue, and then even then do what you can to ignore it, which is crazy. But
Well,
but
I think that like I was telling like our parents about it, but dad was in the midst of his addiction, and mom basically could not handle anything else. And I think
right.
that I was going to her and saying something was wrong, and she was like, I can't handle anything else. And I was like, okay, so it's just not here. We're just not going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if I would have closed my eyes, I think I would have been like, "Is that you, Mom?" I didn't know you
Um,
invited her onto the podcast. No, yeah, and I I definitely was not um present during that time. I mean, it's weird to think like what if kind of thing, but I'm grateful, where we're at now, and like this last year and a half has been really rough for you, and I'm grateful that I was present enough to be like a part of that and everything. But yeah, during that time, I can imagine that was tough to have what to think that we can rely on somebody to point us in the right direction. And I mean, you can go to all the nursing school that you can go to, and still think just because of the way we were raised, like it's gonna be fine, Um, but no, I can't imagine what that was like. Was that when you moved into Barberton, or was that when you moved? Sorry, I shouldn't say cities, but at the corner of like
yeah, when I
260.
moved back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. When I moved back. Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when like everything kind of like started bubbling, you know. And then the big part was going on vacation and that huge like big reaction where I thought I was gonna die and the swelling in the throat and like it was a whole came back saw the allergist. Unfortunately, was basically treated for allergies for the past like 15 years. Come to find out, like with all my blood work, like it's not necessarily an allergic reaction, but it's just like my body like misfiring. Like basically, it's like this seems like this is suspicious. We're just gonna go ahead and raise all of the red flags, and we're gonna make your throat swell and break you out and have a rash. And I'm just like, I don't know what I did wrong. I ate an apple for lunch. You know what I mean? Yeah. So downshifting was huge in my in my health. Is like I have lived that everything is an emergency all of the time. All the time, it's an emergency. You have to do this fast. You've got to work harder, and you've got to keep pushing. And you can't acknowledge your problems because if you acknowledge your problems, then like you're obviously the problem. And then when all of that started to like be like, well, I'm not the problem here, then I mean, obviously.
That's when you're start at least able to start flipping the script a little bit and make some headway when you realize like, no, I have a problem to face. That doesn't make me the problem.
Yeah. Hmm. The problem was people in my life that didn't respect me.
Oh,
But
shoot.
yeah, so let's talk about that time. So that's kind of like where my core like memories of things were. So I was probably, I would say, between the ages of like 20 and 22, which would have put you around 18 to 21 ish.
You're a few years older than me, right? If you're 20 to 22, I would have been like, you're three. So, yeah, I guess like 17 to 20.
Okay.
So, but yeah, yeah, I, that's when Luke found magical drugs. Right in that time frame, that's for sure. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, so obviously I'm the youngest, and um, you had been gone, moved out more or less for the for the most part at that time. And of course, our older brother had been moved out and away to college. And I think when he came back, he never, if he moved back home, it was very, very short lived. Um, but during that time was like, I'm pretty sure like my sophomore to like my senior year was when like mom and dad really like fully uh, separated. We're going through like their actual divorce, and dad had gotten his own place and so on and so forth. But yeah, I mean, I'm a senior in high school, and I'm at the house myself. And I too felt like I didn't know that I needed to go to mom and dad for direction at that time. I mean, I still think I was like so young, and like I saw other people like partying and still like not ruining their lives. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty sure. Do you remember the movie Project X?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that came out my senior year,
Mm-hmm.
and I had already been started like partying and doing drugs and stuff a little bit. But I remember that movie came out, and I was like, my parents are gone, my mom's never home, my dad doesn't live here, my brother and sister are here. We're gonna have a Project XX party, and and yeah, I don't know. I just like that. That's at that time like that's the way it was I just I started like skipping school, and like I was never like a great student, but I was never a bad student. um Honestly, I was very close to not being able to walk the stage. I was going to graduate, but I got in trouble at prom, almost got in trouble at prom, where they almost made me not walk the stage. And that was just how it was. Like, it just, at that time, my senior year up until 26 years old, 27 years old, it just became trouble all the time. Drugs, drinking, alcohol. There was definitely some influential people that I think are close to me. Dad was going through his stuff. And it felt like there was a time where I couldn't connect with dad at all because he was gone. I hadn't been using yet. Mom was going through her shit. And then at like 17, 18, like I think that I knew, well, not that I think, I know that he was using because it's been pretty out there with our family. And he didn't know that I was. And when I finally like broke that bubble, like that I was smoking weed and drinking and like using like Percocets and pills and stuff, like me and dad had something to connect again. And that sounds terrible. My dad is the best man I know. He's the man. Fast forward, he was like the first like person I got to see like get his shit together. So even though we did use drugs and things together, it at that time, yeah, that was definitely influential, and it was not good. And I'm sure, huh?
There was a lot like in our teenage years for all of us that there was like a shift in, we had parents and now we have friends.
Yeah,
And it was very much like it was the cool house because there was like a blind eye. You know what I mean? A lot of behaviors were allowed that like I think about now as a parent with my kids, and I'm like, hell no. Never.
right.
You know? And there was a lot of like underage drinking, but like like one of those like 90s parents like it's okay if you do it at the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and I think about that too and I'm just like that's so crazy. Like no, do I want my kids to hide things from me? Do I want them going somewhere else and driving a car drunk? No, but I just think about like this mentality of like, well, if you're gonna do it here, and I'm like, oh, that's not the right conversation to be having. And like I said, there was like this weird dynamic shift where like we had parents that were like, and I know you have to change as you go from like parenting younger kids because you have this unlimited influence on like little kids. You can control everything about their lives. If you don't want them to
Right.
wear something, you don't buy it. If you don't want them to eat something, you know what I mean? And then as teenagers, we now had cars. We had friends that had, like that we were spending the night out, we were leaving the house. And like you as a parent lose a lot of control in teenage years because your kids aren't there all the time. They're in sports and like who are your kids hanging around and who's there that you can't see. That's got to be tough as a parent. I'm not there yet. My kids are still young, and I know I talk about it right now and I already have like an icky feeling. Like I know that I'm going to struggle with that part of their life.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. It's weird. Just a quick update. My daughter was born successfully this past week. This is the first podcast we've done since. So, yeah, and she's beautiful and perfect and precious, and I'm so, so grateful. And my wife is doing good. She's on the up and up and everything. But just that feeling of like, I feel like her life flashed before my eyes when she was born, where I was just like, I'm going to protect you from everything, and I'm never going to let you do crazy shit, and you're never going to be, like me, more or less. And the truth is I think about it as I think about mom and dad, because like as much as we had the experience of what we had, I'm still sure that both mom and dad, like when we were born and babies, they had all these things in their head of how this is going to go, and it was different.
I mean, I've never had that conversation with our mom, but with dad, I've talked to him about it, and he's like, we just got married and had kids because that's just what you did. Like, he's very, very blunt about it. He's like, he's like, I didn't know what they were in their, I don't know, whatever, in their early 20s when they had started having me and Josh, and I think that they had their third kid by the time that they were 30. Like, you gotta remember, science has shown us that our prefrontal cortex is not developed until we're 25. The fact that bitches are out here having kids before then, I can't fathom. I'm so thankful. Like, I was still dating not super great people at that point in time. Not that I love my husband, but he was also problematic in our 20s. But I think about us having our kids, you're what, 32
32.
now. And yeah, I had our first daughter when I was 29. That's a big jump. And I think that like, I mean, you're not, like I said, functionally, you're not developed enough to be making big life decisions for small children at such a young age. So,
I think, well, I don't know. Again, I'm sure there's like a lot of research, but I think every case is different. And I'm not using that in a defense for our parents, but I just meant the feeling that came when she was born, because I would be sitting here lying to you if I said like I had this great plan. I don't. I'm going by the seat of my pants, but I do well like that. I found that out about myself. I am not one to plan. When you plan, you set expectations. When you set expectations, something goes wrong. For me, I'm going to deal with it as it comes. I'm going to be there, even just since she's been home. Like, I think I got frustrated one time, already. Just once since she's been born. And I told myself, I'm like, nope, you're just tired. This is what babies do. They cry a lot, a long time. You're good. They kick when you're trying to change their diaper. She's going to be fine, And
love that
and
for you. I have have a 5-year plan. I got a 10-year plan. I've had plans since I was 5 years old.
I have ambition plans. While I was in the hospital, I actually did like my second half of the year goals. But none of my goals revolved around another person. All of my goals revolve around me and how I'm going to be the best version of Luke that I can be. Because if I set goals for my wife or my daughter or for you or for my parents, I'm gonna end up back in back in rehab or something like that.
Yeah, I had a week this past week where I had to like do that same thing. Like the only person you can control is yourself. The only emotions that you can control are your own. And like, I didn't learn that until this past year. So raising kids the past few years, I mean, hasn't been, it's been hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you had a tough week this past week, and I mean, just even that first conversation we had, like it's crazy how before a bad week would turn into a bad month, would turn into a bad 6 months, would turn into a bad year, and now a bad week. Not even it hadn't even been a week when we had talked. You were like, "No, I'm feeling so much better. We're moving forward."
Right.
You know?
You gotta remember how quickly you bounce back. I think that shows me like measurable. Before it used to be like, I something would happen and I would just fixate on it all the time, and I could not shift out of that mindset. And you're right. I mean, I did. I had 48 hours. I think that I had a lot of spiral, but by 72, I'm like,
Fuck that. Yeah.
yeah, fuck that. I'm good now.
Yeah. And it's not, I mean, again, that's how I measure my spiritual fitness, actually, is how long am I going to let something sit? And the easiest way for me to determine that is in traffic. And I mean that seriously. Like when I am spiritually and mentally fit, when I'm at my best, I'm still going to get pissed off. We're human. Somebody's going to do something. But it's about how quick I can revert back to like the fact that maybe that guy's speeding because he just found out his wife's in the hospital. Maybe he's running that late for work and he's on his last strike and he needs to get there. You know what I mean? It's how quick can I get back to that kind of perspective. And then there's days where
Speeders that get me. It's always the people going slow, but I always tell myself, they're going slow because they have a birthday cake for their kid in the front seat and they don't.
That's good. It's the slow ones get me, but down here there's a lot more of 2, 3, 4 lane roads to where I can usually get around them. It's more the speeders for me because I'm already going faster than the speed limit, and I'm like, dog, if you're riding my ass and I'm going 60 in a 45, what are we gonna do here? You just have like a power complex, like you need to be in front, like what's going on? So, but yeah, there's days where I'll let that turn into I just had the worst morning of my life, because of one guy riding my ass for 2 minutes, or after he passes me, it's forgotten. That's how I measure my spiritual fitness for sure.
I measure my spiritual fitness by my immediate reaction. Do I instantly want to give them the finger, or do I just want them to pass and I'll just give them a nice thumbs down? And I just make a sad face and just shake my head like, boo. That hits somebody. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
If somebody flicks me off, I'll be like, whatever. Somebody gives me a thumbs down, I'll be like, dang. I disappointed them.
You remember like the Staples button? That was easy.
Yes.
Yeah, we should get like car horns that say boo like boo, and then just give them a thumbs down.
I've seen people who have like the LEDs in like the back of their car that do like different hand signs, and I'm like, I need to buy one of those so I can just give a thumbs up, or a thumbs down, or like a stop sign. I think there's a handful of them, no pun intended. That they do, but
yeah.
Oh man.
But no, that's kind of where I'm at with everything when it comes to like goals and expectations and spiritual fitness for sure. I I don't know how we even got into that. I know it started somewhere, but That's
Workers.
oh yeah, that's my ADHD brain right there.
Yeah. I'm starting to wonder a little bit if I ain't got a touch of that.
I know.
Um,
I think Justine thinks I got a touch of this tism. Yeah. Whenever.
so today's 4th of July while we're recording, and Jonathan, he's like, we gotta get new shirts because it's 250th anniversary, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. So he was going through like shirts, and one of them said, I put the tism and patriotism, and I was like, definitely get
That's
that one.
awesome. Yes.
So
Yeah.
mine today says, get in, loser. Here, I'll stand up. We're crossing the Delaware.
Yes. That's awesome.
And for the people who can't see it, it's just George Washington on a boat with like that famous picture of him just like pointing out in the sea. So yeah, we're crossing the Delaware. Oh, here, hang on. I do have to show you Jonathan's shirt real fast because
Yes,
I
please.
just have to. Hang on one second. Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
So he didn't get the TISM shirt, but he did get just a super jacked George Washington with a bald eagle, and it just says, not America,
America.
America.
Heck yeah, dude. I love that.
So funny. Oh man. He's like, I should cut off the sleeves and make it into a cutoff too. I was like, whatever, floats your boat, babe.
I kind of want to find that tism and patriotism shirt because
Dude,
that is awesome.
yeah, I thought that one was good. We found a handful of really good ones. There was another one on there. I wish I could remember that had. Oh, listen, you know how I am. I am very independent when it comes to like politics. But I will say there was one shirt that I almost got, and it was a picture of Joe Biden with like a patriot hat on, and it just said "Happy Easter." That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So yeah, I thought about that one too, and I was like, but also I'm not a divisional politic kind of person, so I didn't want to show up at a party and then like have to get into a politic conversation about things that I don't know about and be like, oh, I just thought the shirt was funny, and like, you know what I mean. So,
And then somebody get all butthurt all of a sudden. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I was just like, whatever. He is my president, or was. So I don't know. That's enough of that. So yeah, those were the shirts that were in the contention or contenders that we were gonna purchase. These are the ones that we went with.
Yeah. There was one I found that I wish I would have bought. Lucy's due date was July 7th. We knew she was coming early, but I was going to get Justine a shirt that said red, white, and dew. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But maybe next time.
She didn't even make it till July.
Yeah, crazy. I am kind of happy though, because 62926 backwards is 62926.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, all the 20th birthdays in June were going to be read forward and backwards, so I was like, that's pretty sweet.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I love that. I have twins and their birthday was 6/6, so I can resonate on birthdays. Man,
They were born on the same day?
Where's that TISM shirt?
Oh, I know. I need to get it. Justine, you should see me first thing in the morning. We actually put up a camera in our living room so we can start like recording me, because I feel like if she's out with a camera, she told me, she's like, you're going to try too hard. I'm like, I won't try hard, but like first thing in the morning before like I take any coffee or medication, right? That's where I'm like at my worst. I wake up and I'm just like, I'm singing, I'm dancing, names, making up names, all the things. So we put up a camera and y'all are going to see Luke stimming. Justine always says, you're stimming.
Listen, I've been, Luke's fell flat on the social media front, so I've been posting on the regs. And I don't know if you've sifted through the handful of videos that I've created for the past few days, but I usually make my tea in a non-transparent mug. And I have these super cute glass mugs, and I was like, oh man, I should record myself drinking through the glass mug. I will tell you, it is very unflattering. The video is horrendous, and I took two videos of me doing it, and both times I was like, why does it look like I'm choking? What is wrong with me? Posted it to social media, completely flopped. I was like, well, nobody else thought it was funny. Just see me drinking through this clear cup at an angle that is very unwell for my, anything that makes me feel good about myself. We have taken a hard left turn. Let's
Yes,
bring it
we
back
have.
in.
We are health obsessed. We are just stupid too. That's all.
Yeah, right. What have we been saying? We are not actual people. We're not clinicians. We don't
I'm an
have
actual
disease.
person.
But we do have enough life experience that maybe you can resonate with some of the stuff we talk about.
Yes. Yep. We are not your therapists or fitness instructors or wellness go-to people, but I think I've learned to learn from the people that have had the experience as opposed to
I
the
really thought you were going to bring that home. How
what?
did you miss that? You set that up as a softball. You said, we're not all these things. I thought you for sure were going to be like, we are your emotional support siblings.
Oh, that would have been gangster. I might have to clip this
Yeah.
out.
I know. I'm telling you. I'm like, dude, you set yourself up. You were about
Uh,
to. Oh,
Man.
sorry. Go on.
Nope. But we are your emotional support siblings.
Well, anyways, we've hit everything on week 1. We've checked all the boxes. We've told you where we started from. Next week, we're going to bring it home. We're going to talk about where we moved out of our initial warning signs, initial addiction, into our full-fledged addictions and full-fledged illness. But what we've done to manage those things, come full circle, come back, listen to us chit-chat. Hopefully, at least we had some fun today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Feels good to be back. I will get to making some videos as well, and I might drink through clear glasses and see what y'all think about my tonsils or something. And,
Do you still have your tonsils?
yeah, dude. Yeah. Can't you tell by my singing voice? La 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 la.
There it is. Is it time for some medication?
It is. Yes, it is. Very little sleep, too much tism.
Well, tell them where they can find us.
You can find us at my address. No, you can find us on TikTok, Instagram. You can find us on Spotify every Monday morning. This last week was a little bit shoddy, but every Monday morning is when our podcast will be set out. YouTube, of course. All the cool platforms except Facebook, even though it's probably not that cool anyway. So, emotional support.
Millennial thing.
Yeah. Emotional support siblings. Email us, message us, comment on our things, talk to us, ask us questions too. Ask us questions. And if you or anybody out there needs help in the fitness, the recovery, the wellness, the anything, again, we are not licensed in any of those things except for personal training, but we can point you in the right direction.
I am a nurse.
Yeah, she is a nurse. She is that.
We do have some credentials.
Yes. But we would be more than happy to help. More than happy.
Yep. Well, we just appreciate anybody listening in, even though so far it's just my friend Hannah, shout out Hannah, and our dad. So hoping, we find some more people to engage with us, but we hope you all have a good week. Be well out there for 4th of July. If you're up north or down south, I'm sure it's hot down there. Keep hydrated. When you go to pick your desserts, just pick one. You don't need 5. I think that's my advice at the end. Do you have any advice?
Um, don't don't go tease stray cats with food. Don't do it. Feed them or leave them alone.
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks. See you next week.